Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak in the Bag show. Last show of the week for Friday, May 4th. We have the Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow, right, Jim?
We do, and
excited for it.
As Dennis Garcia says, the Kentucky Oaks is going to be off in 10 minutes. But yes, I'm very, very excited about the Derby tomorrow.
And you've already made your picks, your bets on your personal accounts because in this show you haven't made any official picks. I don't know if you're going to. But,
I am. I am going to get that. Very excited about my official pick here, and I did receive the $100 from Babano.
Oh, nice. Yes, he paid off. Good.
He's
very,
an honorable man.
Yes,
an honorable man. So I will have the $449 in my HPI bet account. We'll also be making a 1-unit bet, $200. On Justify at plus 350. That will be my official play, but we can get into that later. And yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. Nothing more excited than the first Saturday in May.
Jim is definitely psyched and pumped for this. And yeah, it's a big MLB card today. And I have just a few plays here, and I might not add any more. We'll see what Jim has to say. Then, of course, we have two very, very interesting road favorites in the NBA playoffs. For anyone who's wondering, Jim did early on take the under in New Orleans Golden State, and also Houston -4. That's now up to 4.5 or 5 market wide, and I took Houston on the first quarter and first half only. No play on the other game. And then, of course, in the NHL playoffs, where we haven't been perfect, but Pittsburgh last night was a good call. Definitely
perfect. I've been bad. You've been good.
I've been good, but last night Pittsburgh was a good call. And once again tonight, Jim and I are both on Boston. Jim's going to take the puck line. I'm going to take the -1 line, and that line has gotten bet up a little bit since the morning show as well. And in the other game, San Jose Vegas, a very interesting game to see how it turns out. No official picks for me or Jim, and I might leave it that way. Vegas continues to take a little bit of money now, all the way up to 160 at the Greek, 152 at Pinnacle. So an interesting card. It should be an interesting show today, Jim.
It will be an interesting show already. We got Jake the Asshole has joined us.
Very nice.
Nelson Reynoso says, "Sorry, Jim, it's going to go over." That line is moved away from me, and you're not the first person, Nelson, to send me a message saying that is going to go over. Although, and there's Kevin Calixto saying over 232 in Golden State, NOLA. But I'm not very concerned about it. Usually, I mean, it's just a small line movement away from me. We know how important it is in NBA to keep track of these late line movements, because it's often the sharps making a move. But I still am okay with my under in that spot.
Okay, and let's see some comments coming in. Let's see what else do we have coming in.
Al Max says, "Yo, I'm tracking solar storms to predict wind direction and overs in MLB. I have lost my mind." Al Mac's girlfriend's going to be out of town for a few days, so he's just going to get drunk and cap nonstop.
Very nice. And here's Mark Lewis, who now is very friendly with us. Says, yo, Mark Lewis, what's up, pal? What's up, buddy? Great to see ya. Mark Lewis, Jimmy the Bag, and I are both on Boston tonight. Not a lot, but I do think it's a solid play. We were both on the Pens last night. Not a lot, but I thought it was a solid play. It was a little close, but it was. And I don't have a good record in general in the NBA, but I have to think that Houston early tonight is a good play. Although we got in the morning show a lot of people saying that they like Utah various ways, but most of the people who actually were saying it on the full game. I'm only on Houston first half, first quarter, only on them early, and a lot of people saying that they like Roji saying Tampa. Cream of Wheat Jones, Yankees are low-hanging fruit. Annie Marak says Boston rolls, and Stephen Ala says Bruins and Knights. All right, so we can get into this. Let's just jump into the card. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into MLB. Once again, I'm taking it light tonight in MLB. Overall, believe it or not, my record in MLB is slightly positive. I wouldn't say I'm killing MLB, but definitely positive. And again, it's my second tier plays that are doing so well. Tonight, I just have 3 plays so far. I did wind up taking KC in the morning show. That was -121 at the time, and that has moved 20 cents in my favor, now up to -140. So a big line move in favor of KC. Nice to see. In the morning show, I gave it at 121. And I'm also doing a fade of Kyle Medlin. I did take Houston team total overs. First half, 2.5 -110. That was a Pinnacle at the time. And full game, 4.5 -145. That was at Bet365 at the time. Again, love to take Houston with Cole going, but that's a pretty steep road favorite line there at -200. So I begged off that one. I just took Houston team total overs, 2 of them, and I took KC on the money line. And Jimmy the Bag, let's refresh our minds. What did you give Jimmy the Bag?
I gave 3 plays early.
One was Cincinnati, which hasn't moved yet.
One was Cincinnati. One was the under 8 in Monterrey, Mexico, which is another play that's kind of moved away from me a little bit, and got some tweets saying to me that was not a good play. And the A's -1.5. I don't know if that, I got it at +130.
Yes, that line appears to have moved just a little bit. It is now +120 at Pinnacle. So about a 10-cent move there. The money line is moving up in Oakland's favor. Not a surprise there. Cashner obviously has had a couple of really bad starts in a row, and if that continues here, hard to see Baltimore being a value play, even as a big underdog. So that line moved 10 cents in your favor. Nice job, Jim.
And I have 4 plays to add on.
Wow.
Brandon James says Royals great play, Pete.
Thank you very much.
And then Nostratoda says a lot of pitchers that shouldn't be laying anything. Kennedy being one. Ballsy, Pete. I'm on the Tigers.
Okay. I hope you got a good line, Nostratoda, because I certainly did. When I took KC, I got -121. It's now up to 140. And if you got Detroit at the current line at the Greek and Intertops at +133, that would be a good job for both of us, getting the best line on that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. My man Cream of Wheat Jones saying Reds. I don't see it. Tell me what you see. And in all honesty, I really do see improvement coming from these young pitchers. They've started out awful. They've set a very low bar, and now I think that we can be ahead of the market taking them at home. Wai-Yin Chen looked okay in his first start in the confines of his home ballpark, but now he's going on the road to Great America Ballpark. I expect Sal Romano to pitch well. I got -114. I feel comfortable with it. Chen's barely pitched over the last couple of years. And Romano looked strange. I didn't love his start against the Twins. 80 of his 89 pitches were fastballs. But I do think that he is going to I think that I can be a little bit ahead of the market taking these young Reds pitchers. Romano has had success against the Marlins, and I like it. Now, and Nostratoda says, good job, Pete. Got it at 129. At least one of us cashes.
Absolutely. And once again, if you're beating market numbers long term, that is something to be proud of, and it's possible that we both did that in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I missed out on a better line because I hadn't finished all of these. This is a huge baseball card.
Yeah.
But I am jumping with you on the Astros train.
Okay.
I'm only taking the Astros. See, Bet365 is not giving me first 5 team totals.
Right.
So I already sent out a bet on the -1.5. I already sent out a team total over full game now. Unfortunately, because of when I put in the bet, I had to get it at 5.5 at +110, which is not as good. But I want to do the triple up.
Okay.
I want the first 5 Astros team total over. I would like you to find me the best possible
I will.
line.
I will. Tell me what you want, and then I'll do some line shopping while you do some analysis, Jim. So
I want the Astros
first 5 team total over.
And full game team total over.
Okay.
And
full game
-1.5.
And the -1.5. I will find the best line for all of these Jimmy the Bag. While I'm doing that, why don't you take over the show and do some analysis or respond to some comments, whatever you want to do, while I do a little bit of line shopping here and try to find Jim the best line.
I can't believe that Medlin is the person that they're bringing up. I know he's a character guy, and it simply must be that and that alone. In 2017, he was in the minors all season. 5-8, 4.95 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. In 2018, he moved over to the Pacific Coast League with Reno. He's throwing. Now we know that the PCL is a high octane, high offensive league, but he's throwing 18 innings, allowed 12 earned runs, 19 hits, 18 Ks, 8 walks, 1.50 WHIP. I just don't see it. I think the Astros have just gone through a tough little stretch. They've lost 3 straight. I think this is a nice opportunity for them to wake their bats up. And getting Cole. I mean, look at Cole's just been, I mean, he can't possibly really pitch any better. 1.73 ERA, 0.79 WHIP through 41 2/3 with 61 Ks and 41 2/3. All his starts have been quality starts, tied for first in the league, and is 7th in ERA, 6th in WHIP, 3rd in strikeouts. He's a beast. Always pitched the Diamondbacks well. Pitched well in Chase Field as well, giving up 3 runs in 14 2/3. And yeah, so sorry, just reading Underdog saying you were right. LeBron could have gone 1 versus 5. It was just absolutely heartbreaking watching that.
All right, so would you like Houston 4.5 -149 or 5 -125?
That's tough, but I'll take the 5.
5 minus 125. Jim's going to take the Houston Astros team total over 5 minus 125. That's the current line at Heritage. And let me just scan down here. The first 5 innings is going to be 2.5 minus 110 at Pinnacle, which is exactly what I got, Jim.
Wow. That's, I love that line. That's excellent. And then I'm also going to take the Astros on the run line.
And that's going to be minus 116, current line at Pinnacle.
Sorry, I missed it. Sorry, I was reading it.
Minus 116, current line at Pinnacle.
Thank you very much.
All right. So interestingly, this line has not moved. Actually, I would have been expecting maybe some movement in favor of Houston, at least on the team total overs, but that is not actually the case. It's actually come down a little bit at Pinnacle, which is a little bit troubling to me, but that's okay. I will. I'm still riding with it, and we'll see how Medlin does. You know, always expect the unexpected in Major League Baseball. Feels like though that the Astros will have a nice little bounce back here offensively, and that the team totals will cash, but maybe not. All right, what else do you want to discuss, Jim?
I am on 2 more plays.
Mm-hmm.
I am expecting a Garrett Richards bounce back, and I thought, and I said this, and I was wrong. I said in the show that Mike Leake's still pitching well at home. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's pitching terrible everywhere he goes, just slightly better at home. He's a 6.48 ERA, 1.53 whip through 33 and a third, 22 Ks, 11 walks. And even at home, he's looked bad. 19 innings, allowed 19 hits, and 10 earned runs. He's pitched well in 2 career starts against the Angels, but he just looks bad this year. And as long as he's pitching bad, I'm going to hammer it. I got to think that Garrett Richards has a bounce back spot. Mm-hmm. Scotty Rock forever says fade the leak. I have to think that Garrett Richards bounced back. I like him. Rod Digger says, Mr. Pete, I am now homeless.
Oh, okay.
So he'll really need a winner.
Well, I definitely send you some prayers and well wishes, Rod Digger. I definitely, send you prayers and well wishes, and I wish the best for you. This is an entertainment-based show. This is not a show where you are guaranteed to get rich. Some people do, I guess.
You know what? I still have high hopes for Rod Digger, man. He knows his yard sales. I think he's going to be just fine. And so, yeah, I'm on the Angels full game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me find the best line. Money line, right? Money line, right?
Yes, please.
All right, minus 123 at Bet Online. We'll give you that one. LA Angels, minus 123. LA Angels. Money line, minus 123. Can't say I disagree with that one. I was thinking about taking the Angels on this game as well, maybe the second half. How's their lineup looking to you, Jim? Looking pretty good? Looking okay?
Well, it's an exciting night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pujols, is going for 3,000 hits. The Angels lineup has regressed, as we expected, but it's regressed a little more than we expected.
Mm-hmm.
But Trout is still a monster.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of excitement in the building. I really think that they can step up in a situation against Leak like this. I know it's not a hitter's park, but I do like it. My man Magzia has joined us. People really think that you look like John Cazale. Is that how you pronounce it? Who's
John
the
who?
actor? John.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, it's not
John Cazale. John Cazale. John Cazale. All right, let's see. Let's see.
Nostratodos on the over first 5 in full game. Seattle, LA. Bats hitting well, bad pitchers. And Marco Lu says, keep pounding the Brewers. And I am going to. That is my final addition to my card, is the Brewers. Let me get to that game. I came close to making a couple plays, came close to taking the Twins, but just couldn't at that line. And where the hell is this fucking...
Which one? Milwaukee. You want Milwaukee against Pittsburgh with that guy Kingham making his second major league start. First one was great, but probably pitching over his head in his recent resurgence in the minors and the majors. You want Milwaukee tonight?
I do. I think Kingham comes back down to earth.
Yes.
And there's just too many games here, and I can't even find... But I will get there. I will find these goddamn notes. Here they are. Pirates have lost a lot. They've won 6 of their last 17 games. They started out so strong. They're fresh off their second 4-game sweep. This one's at the hands of the Nationals. Pirates have only scored 10 runs during that 4 games. Kingham has one magical home start on his resume. You know, he earned the right to pitch in the majors. He was in the minors for a long time, had to go through Tommy John, and that was a magical, magical start, and I think the fairy tale ends here. Junior Guerrera has pitched amazing, very, very well. And it was only 2 years ago where he had an excellent season. 0.82 ERA, 0.95 whip through 22 innings, 21 Ks, 8 walks. He has not allowed more than a run in any of his 4 starts. Obviously, he's not that good. Richard West says, fade these Brewers. I am not. I am taking these Brewers. I think the Pirates will keep losing, and although the Brewers are only hitting 237 with a 689 OPS, I like this spot with them at home, and I like the line I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah, it has moved a little bit in Pittsburgh's favor, which is interesting. The best line right now would be -111 at BetOnline. We can give you that one. So you want that one, huh?
I do.
Okay, Milwaukee, money line -111. So Jim has added Houston first half team total over 2.5. Houston full game team total over 5 -125. The Houston run line -116. Angels money line -123. And Milwaukee money line -111. Picks I was thinking about, I was thinking about taking the Angels on the second half maybe. I was thinking about overs in the Colorado Mets game, as Dom Ricci, I believe, and a bunch of people were saying. My only issue here is just that I kind of like to bet on Marquez when he's away from Coors, but this might be a different situation. And again, Colorado's bat's not terribly inspiring overall, even though I've had a good read on them. I had a good read on them in the series at Wrigley recently. But the overs in the Yankees and Mets game were both picks that people were suggesting. The Yankees total, of course, has exploded up. It opened at 9.5, now up to 10.5 or 11, and then the Mets game total has actually gone down a bit. It opened at 8.5. It's now down to 8.
Somebody in this chat said, I know that Dom's on the over. He's on the Mets first 5 over 4. But somebody on this chat said that they were on the under, and I'm trying to find it, and I can't. But
Kobe Valentine, LA Angels, Zach Cosart not in the lineup. That's nice. Thank you for that update, Kobe Valentine.
I can't find it. Here we go. Observer. Observer says, here we go, guys. Here's my free pick of the day. Take the under in the Colorado Mets game. Marquez is the only pitcher not pitching very well for the Rockies right now, but his last start was pretty good. The wind is blowing out to center strongly, and the Mets are coming off an 11-0 loss. They scored 2 runs in that 3-game series. Their bets should wake up at some point. It was the first time the Mets have been swept this season. They opened up the season 11-1, but haven't won back-to-back games since. Colorado 5-3 over their last 8 games, and it's all about their starters. They compiled a 1.68 ERA. Everybody's pitching very well except for Marquez. 5.14 ERA, 1.57 WHIP through 28 innings, 27 Ks, 16 walks, too many hits allowed. Wheeler 4.09 ERA, 1.32 WHIP through 22 innings. Rockies are just not hitting. They're not hitting, and it's surprising. And it's got to change soon as the weather's warming up. But they've been on the road for a little while, and they don't come back home till the 8th. We know because of the Coors Field fade. Rockies are hitting 226 with a 695 OPS, and Mets are hitting just 231 with a 688 OPS. So I could see the under from that standpoint. These offenses aren't hitting. Yeah.
Oh, man. Rod Digga says, I go back to Senegal. My sister come through on plane. Bye-bye. Much. Thank you for the show. Rod Digga. That's going to make me cry. I can't believe it. I wish Rod Digga the absolute best of possible luck that the universe can possibly confer upon him. I love you, Rod Digga. Thank you so much. Once again, Rod Digga, he says, I go back to Senegal. My sister come through on plane. Bye-bye. Much thank you for show. I love this guy.
See you again,
God, I
Rod
love
Digga.
this guy, Rod Digga. God, I love this guy, Rod Digga. All right, let's see. So, yeah, the Yankees-Mets game. Also, news is coming in that which would explain the line move in favor of Pittsburgh. Ryan Braun is out for Milwaukee, which would explain the line movement in favor of Pittsburgh.
Sure.
And Kobe Valentine has now decided that he likes Pittsburgh now, despite he likes Pittsburgh on that news.
And Cody AV says, I like Pittsburgh already. An observer really pushing me to take the under in that Mets game. Very interesting. Chris Garza loves the Braves. He's going to pound the Braves. Michael L. Ferris is on the Rockies money line. And Rod Digga has gone back to Senegal. Sandercock likes Bortolo. And Hako Schofield says Yanks keep rolling. Over is 5-0 in the last 5 meetings in New York. And Scotty Rock says, why don't you love me like that, Pete?
Oh, I do. I love lots of people like that. Almost everyone like that. Absolutely. I just there are certain times when you isolate and identify one particular strain of love that you have. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Sure.
Absolutely. All right. In the meantime, Observer saying Vegas is begging you to take the over in the Mets game, and certainly as some people were convinced. Interesting. Vegas Observer liking the under. That's a little bit of a contrarian play there. Nice job. Nice job. Also, Kobe Valentine saying he's going to be on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. That's an interesting opinion and call.
He's been very successful fading the public, and I'm sure he's just rolling with that. But I'd love to hear more information about it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that maybe Bergeron and a few other Bruins are more banged up than we're aware of. That's my concern about that one.
That building's going to be rocking. This team has depth. Krejci's got to step up his game. That second line has to produce. Pasternak is a beast, and they got beaten soundly in Game 3. So I'm very comfortable with the play.
Rod Digga says, bye-bye, Mr. Peter. I go back to Senegal. Don't like it here. He's in Boston. Thanks for friendship. Oh, you're very, very welcome, Rod Digga. Friendship, yes. Anything I can possibly offer you, I will offer you, Rod Digga. All right.
Michael Lunday has a question. Saw that Native Queen liked the prop bet for Atlanta to score first, but he's not understanding why they'd be an underdog on the prop, but a favorite for the game.
Wait a minute. He's asking about
the prop bet for Atlanta to score first.
Okay, let me just find this. What am I looking at here? Atlanta, and whom are they playing? Whom are they playing? Was there a pitching change in the Atlanta game? I think there was. McCarthy is now I'm seeing listed.
Oh my God.
McCarthy's listed for Atlanta, and he's asking what the reason why they would be an underdog on the prop.
Yeah.
Well, because for to score first. Well, because the home teams are always going to get a bit. No, you might be right that the odds might be off, but yeah, that's fairly standard that the team to score first can be a favorite on the game, but an underdog on that prop because if the road team scores in the top of the first inning, home team doesn't even have a chance. And if the first inning is scoreless, then once again the road team gets an unanswered chance to win that prop. So that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? If you work out the numbers, it also makes sense.
I would like to talk about this situation in Toronto, Tampa. And then I'd like to go over that pitching change a little bit. But first, if you don't mind, I'm really interested in this. Now, Andrew Kittredge is starting. It's a bullpen day. They don't have Trinos anymore, who was the key part, I thought, of their bullpen days. Kittredge is going to be capped at 30 pitches. He's a 6.23 ERA, 1.62 WHIP through 13 innings. Rays are playing good ball. I mean, they've dropped 3 of 4, all by 1 run. But Happ is pitching very well. He has quality starts in 3 of his last 4 outings, all with at least 8 strikeouts. I feel like what scared me off this play was that the Rays are hitting 279 with a 797 OPS through 326 at-bats for lefties. They're hitting them very hard, but I feel like I might be making a mistake if I don't take the Jays on the run line. How can they keep getting away with these bullpen days, and now they don't have their best bullpen entity? So,
sure.
Jay Sandercock says pass on Jay's Rays, in my opinion. And then Kobe has a note on his
he says Tampa Bay offense has been amazing all year. They've been good in being able to pressure Rask, and they use their quickness to get around the Boston D. I think Boston is too beat up and tired to not get pressured. Okay, so Kobe Valentine with the opinion that Boston is maybe a little bit more physically hampered right now than Tampa Bay is. Interesting opinion for Kobe Valentine. Thank you for your explanation on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a nice explanation. I think that everybody's beat up this time of year. I don't think that it's too bad. So I'm comfortable here. Isan Solvagari says, Jimmy, let me just tell you, Toronto is my best play of the day. Noster Toda says, man, Happ's metrics have surprised me. Will regress, but what a year so far. And he's not joking. 50 strikeouts in 36 innings with just 7 walks, 1.03 whip. Christopher Carter says, Donaldson is back. He sees a 3 for 4 day. Sports betting and poker says, I like the Jays too. Susana says, fade Jays on Fridays. And Brent Brooks says that seals it. Jay's run line. You know, I think I need to add this play. I really do. When does this game start?
The Tampa Bay game starts at 7 o'clock.
Damn it. I have to add this play. Melee Payless Way says Hap 3-3 with a 5.08 ERA career versus Tampa. Yes, that's 14 games, 13 starts. Tampa's had his number, and they're hitting lefties hard. Maybe the play, and Bobby Robinson says Jays bats will roll. Rich Banks loves BJ's. Baseball Bob says, Jimmy, I took the over in Toronto game. Blue Jays are, Barcoman says Blue Jays 4-0 in Hap's last 6 starts. So Sana thinks they don't play well on Fridays. He's convinced of it.
Okay, what do you want to do here, Jim?
Let me ask. Can you give me 2 things?
Yes.
What would I get on the run
plus
line?
103, plus 103.
And what would I get on the over?
On the over, on the Jays game. Let me find it. The Jays game over 7.5 minus 115 at Heritage. Everyone else has 8.
Over 7.5 at minus 115. That's a low line. That's a low line. And Observer saying yes, Donaldson is back, but Smoke is not in the lineup. Dom Regis says Hap is good versus the AL East. That's a low line.
Marco Lou, do not add this play. It's more of a pick 'em than you realize. And a lot of people come in and saying that they like Tampa Bay tonight in the in NHL, which is definitely very interesting. Matt Elsey has been convinced. I'm jumping on Tampa. He's talking about NHL. All right, Jim, what do you want to do
I'm going to take the full game over.
You want the over,
Yeah.
so not the Toronto run line.
No.
Okay, so Jim's going to take Toronto. Tampa Bay over 7.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Heritage. Full juice line at Heritage, 7.5 minus 115. Everyone else has 8. Any other MLB plays for you, Jim?
Ace Farmer said I'm just taking JE team total over. Best way to go coming off doubleheader with spent bullpen. I like that too. I like that too, but I think I'm going to take both teams just because of how hard the Rays are hitting lefties. Yes, I feel good about that. Over 7.5 and minus 115. Now, I need to see if my book will give me that line because that's pretty nice. I'm just worried that Bet365 is going to give me an 8.
I assume that they will, just because everyone else has 8, and also I have the line up here. I do have Bet365 on the screen, and Bet365 is showing 8 plus 100, which is standard. Although BetMania has him beat at 8 plus 104. BetMania going on with Pinnacle, a lean to the under at 8. BetMania has 8 plus 104. Pinnacle has 8 plus 104, and everywhere else has 8 plus 100, including Bet365, except for Heritage, which has 7.5, going even one further than BetMania and Pinnacle towards the under. Heritage down to 7.5.
Yeah, I like it. Barkerman says over 7-1 in Rays last 8 games. I'm going to take it and add it onto my action, so I'm going to need a second.
All right, that's it for MLB for us. Let me see. I've added on no plays. I'm just going to be on 3 plays tonight. KC full game minus 121. I gave that one earlier in the day. And the first 5 and full game team total overs for Houston. I did see that Nate Pereira came in and said he likes Houston today as well as the Mets. Jimmy has added a bunch of plays here. Houston first half and full game team total overs. Houston run line minus 116. Angels money line minus 123. Milwaukee money line minus 111, despite Ryan Braun being out for Milwaukee, which would explain the line movement in favor of Pittsburgh. And Jim also taking the over 7.5 in the Toronto Tampa Bay game. Okay, let's move on to the NBA games. Let me just pull up the NBA. Here we go. The NBA, once again, both of the road favorites have been bet up a little bit. Jim jumped on Houston, tweeted it out at -4. It's now up to 4.5 or 5. I took Houston only on the first half and first quarter. I'm going to pass on the Golden State game, but that line's gotten bet up a little bit as well. We're seeing 5s market wide. Oh, no, yeah, well, actually, it's a split line, 4.5 or 5. And Jim also took the under on that game at 232.5, and that line has gone just a little bit up. There are some 233s now, and it's a split line, 232.5 or 233. All right, Jim, and the total in the Houston-Utah game has gotten bet up a couple of points from opening as well, 207 up to 209. Once again, I'm on Houston first quarter, first half. Jim's on Houston full game, and Jim's on the under in Golden State, New Orleans. You want to alter any of your picks? You want to explain any of your picks, Jim?
Let's see what other people have to say, and then we'll get into it. Anil Frank is on the Rockets team total over 105.5. Chris Garza likes the Pels first half, and I believe that was Dan Kelly, right? Dan Kelly was also on that. Anytime you're with Dan Kelly, that's a really nice spot to be on. Larry Savage says Pelicans. Big win today for all the marks on Larry. Interesting. And Dan Kelly's about a parlay. New Orleans +5, Utah +5 parlay. Ooh, that is interesting. Yeah, when I go back and take a look at everything, obviously I'm concerned. This is the highest total that's ever been given to a playoff NBA basketball game, and it's been bet up. So that's a little uncomforting. Barkerman says under is 5-1 in Pelicans' last 6 home games versus a team with a winning road record. That's nice to see. Christopher Carter says 232.5 need 0 cold spells, and there will be a few. That's something that I do also agree with. Christopher Carter says, love that under. Don't back off it, Jay. Thank you, Christopher Carter. That I'm not going to back off of it, but that it is nice to hear that. Noster Toda says, just give the title to Golden State. I'm thankful that I hedged my Rockets bet. And King Rail, very sharp NBA capper, says Golden State first half under 119.5.
Okay. Yep. Mohammed Joma says under 233 seems like an auto smash. I would be leaning towards agreeing with you as well, Jim. I just decided not to give it because I got burned on the under in the game too. But I would agree with you. You know, I might join you on this one as well. It's just what New Orleans is a big overtrender at home. Now, obviously, that's during the regular season, not the playoffs. But do we have any research that indicates what their likely game plan is expected to be?
All we've heard from Gentry is that he's going to push the pace.
Why?
That's what we've all said. That's what we've all said. We've said, don't you think maybe this is the wrong team to do that with? But that's what he's continued to say. He's continued to say that we're going to push the pace as much as we can, and that's why the number keeps going up.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to stay off it. Jim's taking the under, getting a lot of agreement in general from people on the comment section, and I'm taking the Houston first half and first quarter spreads. Jim's taking Houston -4 on the full game. That line has gotten bet up in the morning show. Again, a lot of people made a lot of strong arguments in favor of Utah. You're saying that they're a good team, that they're not getting enough credit here as a home underdog. Market is headed in Houston's favor right now. Only Bookmaker and the Greek have 4.5. Oh, and Bet365. Everyone else is all the way up to 5. We'll see how it turns out. You want to alter your picks? You want to change anything, Jim, or move on to NHL?
No, no, I don't love D'Antoni as a coach. I mean, I like what he's done with the Rockets, but I don't love him as a coach. And I can only hope that he can come up with some adjustments. I mean, we've watched the Celtics do it all playoffs long. Now, obviously, D'Antoni's not as good, but we've watched the Celtics do it all season long. I just need some adjustments. Now we know that Donovan Mitchell is not going to drive every time he gets the ball. He's going to distribute. So come up with a game plan for that. It shouldn't be too hard. So, and Eric Sniffen says Utah's going to be nuts. Their crowd's insane. My man Lamont Williams says, "Come on, Jimmy the Bag," and Peter Loshak.
I'm trying to have a big day, trying to bounce back. Well, I feel bad because 2 days ago we gave him a wrong call on Boston, but last night our call from someone who asked for a similar pick was on the Penguins.
We gave it to Rod Digga, and he's still back.
Yeah, that's right. That just goes to show you even money management is as important, if not more important, than identifying positive EV plays. If you had to identify one play from today's entire card, Jim, and hand it over on a platter to Lamont Williams, what would it be?
Well, I'm not going to be scared that it blew up in my face. I'm not going to. I take that back. I was going to give the Bruins again, but no. The Astros first 5 team total over 2.5.
2.5 -110 just feels like meddling. Maybe he'll come in here and have a quality start, but it feels much more likely than not that he'll get at least a little bit hit and that Houston should have 3 runs by the end of the 5th inning. I would agree with you on that one, Jimmy the Bag. Houston, first 5 innings, team total over 2.5 at just -110 right now at both Pinnacle and Heritage.
Yeah, I'd say that was the best one. And great news. Ring the bell. The Oracle has spoken. The Oracle has dropped her plays, and it's time to read them.
Yes. Oh my God. They're 2 lines worth of plays. Yes. Okay. You want me? Oh, okay. Here we go, Jim. Native Queen likes the Yankees to score in the first inning. Yes. The Yankees first 5 game and run line. Okay. Wow. Liking the Yankees first 5 innings game and the run line. Also liking Philly to score in the first. No. She likes Philly to score first and also no score in the first inning. Also in the Philly game under first 5 innings.
Yeah, so she thinks that the Pivetta, who's Pivetta pitching against again? I can't remember. Interesting, because we talked about that, and that's a really interesting play, and quite likely a very strong play. God, let me get to that.
And then she says MIS score first. Who's that? MIS.
I believe she means Milwaukee. MIA.
Or maybe
MIL. You mean MIL?
I don't know. MIS.
It's either Milwaukee or Miami.
Yes, we're just reading. We are only relaying what the letters and words are from Oracle here. Slash Mets Colorado score in first. Yes. Mets Colorado score in first. Yes. And Colorado to score first.
Yes.
Also Atlanta no score in first inning and Atlanta to score first. And first 5 innings under in the Atlanta game. Interesting. So Native Queen liking Atlanta.
It is Miami. First at home. Is Miami, not Milwaukee.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Once again, Native Queen likes the Yankees to score in the first. Yes, the first 5 innings for the Yankees and the run line for the Yankees. She also likes Philly to score in the first inning. Philly to score first. and no score in the first inning in the Phillies game, and also first 5 under in the Phillies game. Miami to score first. Also Mets Colorado, score in the first inning, yes, and Colorado to score first. Also Atlanta, no score in the first inning, Atlanta to score first, and the first 5 innings under in the Atlanta game. Okay. Wow, I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go back and see how many of those cash.
Please do. Please
I will.
Do. Richie Incognito says Bruins, Bruins, Bruins. Michael L. Ferris says Indians all day today. I called it first, and I believe he has. I have not heard. I feel uncomfortable. Now, I fell in the Athletics trap yesterday. I fall in my fair share of traps. I just feel strange about this play. Anil Frank likes Yankees team total over 5.5, as the Oracle does. And I get it. Tomlin's looked awful. I don't like believing in a club's offense when they fly across the country and are back home on the first day. But this would be a time that you'd probably like it. And then Hako Schofield says, I'm calling it now. Houston wins by 20 tonight. He's
talking, by the way, about the Rockets, not about the Astros, which would not be a massive shock either if the Astros win by 20. But yes, look, I think Houston's going to. I'm willing to take a shot with them here because of the spot that Houston's going to come out early, motivated, focused, playing well, and maybe with some adjustments to boot. And I'm taking Houston first half and first quarter. All right, let's move on to NHL. How about that, Jim?
Let's move on. Speaking of moving on, Brent Brooks, who is straight fire in NHL, says Native Queen. I am honored to tell you. Thank you.
Okay, very, very net. And that is a compliment and a half right there.
Not just a great capper, but a gentleman.
Really? Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Tampa Bay, Boston. Line is creeping up. Boston, the best line is now minus 152. I'm feeling like the spot favors Boston, right? I liked San Jose to win their last game at home against Vegas, not necessarily because I thought that San Jose was the better team, just because I thought that the spot favored them. The only difference is that in that game, when you read the articles and you read the research, San Jose clearly felt like they were playing better game after game after game, and I'm just concerned that Boston might be a little bit banged up here. There are some comments coming in saying that they like Tampa Bay. Kobe Valentine, most notably liking Tampa Bay here, and a few other people are also going to be on Tampa Bay tonight. Jim and I are on Boston. You want to tell people why you think Boston has the edge here?
Well, I think first off, the Lightning have done their job, and the Bruins know that the season's over if they lose this game. And you play with a different sort of edge when you know the season's over. Boston has so much forward depth that they can bring in a guy like Ryan Donato, who's going to be a huge spark in the dressing room. When you got a kid out of college, a superstar in college, who put up, I don't have his numbers in front of me, but he put up like 11 points in the 12 or 13 games he played to close the season. When you have a kid in the dressing room before a playoff game, it's a spark to the dressing room. This is a Bruins team that went 28-8-5 at home during the regular season, and Tuukka Rask is capable of stepping up, just like Pekka Rinne did last night. And that is what I expect him to do. I actually don't expect a really high-scoring game. I don't want to complicate, and it was a mistake not complicating things last night because the Penguins' first period under hit again, and the full game under hit again. And I'm quite likely to make that play again tomorrow. What is the total in the Bruins Lightning anyways?
In the Bruins Lightning game, I'm assuming it's 6. It's 6.
And juice
to the under.
As it should be. As it should be. I see this being a very tightly played game. Nostratoda says Lightning feasting on Boston's slow D, at least in Game 3. Charlie McAvoy needs to step up. You're right. When you have a defenseman that's 40 years old and he's playing 25 minutes a game, you're not going to be as fast as the other team. But Charlie McAvoy can change that, and I dig it. I really think this is a simple play to take the Bruins on the puck line.
Okay, so Jim and I are both on the Bruins, but strong and educated cases have been made in favor of Tampa Bay. And then in the San Jose-Vegas game, I'm going to pass on this one. I think Vegas probably wins, but it is a high line here at minus 152, minus 153. Again, San Jose feels like they're playing better. Junis is back, right? And San Jose is playing with some mojo, so I wouldn't necessarily like to be fading them as an underdog here. I'm going to pass. My leans would be first period under, slightly less lean to a less strong lean to a full game under, and slightly even less strong lean to Vegas, even at minus 153. I do think they win this game, but I'm not going to make a play on this one. Are you going to have a play on this game, Jim?
I'd like to make the play on the Sharks.
Yeah,
I would, but Brent Brooks heavy on the Knights. The Knights have always been able to dig deep and handle adversity, and I'm comfortable not making a play. But I lean Sharks here. I think that they're very, very close from having a 3-1 series lead. Martin Jones has a ton of confidence. Now, DeBoer believes he's figured out a way to defend the team speed of the Knights. He's not explained it,
right?
But he says that they've come up with a new play to handle the forechecking of the Knights, a new way of getting the puck out of the zone and stuff like that. And I believe him. DeBoer's a great coach. So, and King Rail says under 6 in Boston, they got soft ice. That was, I don't know, for any of you guys missed that, King Rail gave us a very, very important note. They just put the ice in 2 hours ago in Boston. So it's going to be soft, which slows the game down, which bounces the puck.
I think that might be a good play. I'd be leaning under anyway, even without that. And here's another comment that's just sort of making me scratching that little itch in my head. Antonio Jones, Bruins are just too busted up and tired, are they?
Well, that was a tough series against the Leafs. That was the only reason I thought maybe it was worth really trying to get that first overall seed, which they didn't, which they chose not to, which Cassidy chose not to. Because we knew that Leaf series was going to be much tougher than the Devils series. And it was. So, you know what? Everybody who believes in the Lightning is absolutely right. This Bruins team is tired. Now, Game 4 at home to get to the Eastern Conference Final is so exciting. I really think the adrenaline will take over. I think Donato is going to provide a spark. I think Tuukka Rask is going to step up. But the more and more we talk about this, the more and more I feel like the under's the play
Me too. And I'm going to make that an official play. You wager right now at 6 minus 110, and I will throw that onto my official record. Tampa Bay, Boston, under 6 minus 110. Similar to the game last night in Nashville that looked like on paper at first glance it was going to have overwritten all over it. In retrospect, I realized under was clearly the right play there. This is an intense series, and I'm going to take it. Thank you so much for King Rail for tipping us off on that one, and I'm going to take under 6 minus 110. Current line at UWager.
I think that's a good play. I'm going to take it too.
You're going to take it too.
Yeah.
Okay, Boston under 6 minus 110. Another game where if it loses, I'll be fine with it. I like the feeling. I like the analysis. I like the spot. King Rail, cheers, brother. Under 6 minus 110. Under 6 minus 110 in Tampa Bay, Boston. That game goes off in about 15 minutes, Jim, by the way.
Yes, I'm putting it in right now. So Bet365 is giving me minus 115.
Yes.
Whatever.
Right. Line shopping, very important. Also, San Jose, Vegas. I would also be leaning under on that one vaguely, even though Vegas can, explode offensively. Feels like this game is going to be tight. If it was a 6, I might be taking an under here, but I'm not going to take an under at 5.5, but I'd be leaning under 5.5 as well.
I get it. I get it. But it is this Knights team can put pucks in the net at a very fast rate. But I think Martin Jones has got a ton of confidence right now. I'm more comfortable with this Boston under, though.
Absolutely. Okay, so Jim, are you going to need a few moments?
Yeah,
to
just
get
about
your plan?
one.
All right. While we're doing that, I can talk a little bit about boxing. I did do a boxing video with Andreas Hale. Of course, Andreas Hale and I have been pretty on a nice little run in MMA. I'm excited for when that picks up again.
Show your record.
Oh yeah, you got the MMA right. Well, this is boxing, but yeah, you got the MMA. Yeah, throw it up. Sure, I'm up about 15 units. If you got the MMA one, throw it up there. Yes,
it's very strong.
I did a boxing video with Andreas Hale, and I think that I did wind up giving an official pick in the David Hay Bellew rematch, and I think we might have some value here. Once again, for people who don't know, Hay and Bellew are rematching this Saturday in London. Andreas Hale liked Bellew at plus 190. Thinks he's too big of an underdog, and I would vaguely agree with that, although I didn't make that one an official pick. The pick that I gave, which Andreas Hale also agreed with, is the over 6.5 minus 165. I made that one an official pick. I think that's a solid play. Hay might want to come in here and try to get an early knockout to redeem himself, but I think more likely he's going to be a little bit respectful and cautious. Bellew as well, I think, will be a little bit respectful and cautious in this rematch, and I actually do think the over 7.5 rounds minus 165 in the rematch between Hay and Bellew has some value. Over 7.5 minus 165. The fight might even go the distance, and I think I saw the prop at the fight going the distance being about 2-1 at about plus 200. That might have some value as well. I asked Andreas Hale how he thinks what he thinks the most likely outcome might be, and he thought Bellew by decision. That prop is like 5.5 or 6-1. I would agree with that one. So I would think that the over 7.5 rounds minus 165 is a good good play. That's my only official pick on the fight. But I also think there might be a little bit of value on the fight going to distance at about 2-1 plus 200. Andreas Hale thinks there's some value with Bellew at plus 180, and I would very cautiously agree with that. And are you done, Jim?
I'm done.
Yeah. All right. And that was we broke down that fight, and then we also broke down the Triple G fight, which is just too big of a line for me to want to take a shot with. Andreas Hale did give an opinion on that one, though, an official pick. He gave under 8.5 rounds at minus 220. I would vaguely be disagreeing with that one. The guy that Triple G is fighting, of course, it's a replacement fighter, a late round. Those can be sneaky, tricky fights. I know that Triple G is going to be, some people are saying he's going to be looking to show that he can knock a guy out early, as he did earlier in his career, and that might be the case. But I think Triple G clearly outclassed his opponent here, but he's no slouch. This is the biggest fight of his career, obviously, Marozhin, and I would actually be disagreeing with Andreas' pick for the under 8.5 at minus 220. Triple G might get a little bit of a tougher fight, but there's no pick for me. Andreas Hale did give an official play on the under at 8.5 minus 220, and I would officially say that that one makes me nervous. I cannot possibly endorse that one. I think it might be a little bit of a tougher fight than people are expecting.
Yeah, I hear that. Melee Payless Way on the first fight you were speaking about says likes the fight to go the distance.
Yes, the fight could go the distance, and you're getting. I think I saw plus 200 on the Hay fight going to the cards, but my official pick on it over 7.5 rounds minus 165. We could see a late knockout as we saw in the first fight, but these guys are going to respect each other, and unless someone gets caught early, I think it's much more likely than not to go into the later rounds.
I like it.
Okay.
I like the breakdown a lot, and I'd like to do more boxing when we have time.
Sure.
So that's great, a great addition. Although I was just so stuck with horses this week, adding on to all these games that we're doing. Our man Plus Money is sharing his plays, which is a treat. I always love reading guys' plays, so thank you, Plus Money. Plus Money's on the Rockets, -1. First quarter, sorry. Rockets -1, first quarter at minus 115, so he's on the Rockets first quarter with you.
Yes.
Golden State -1.5 in the third quarter, and we know they've been such an incredible third quarter team. Those are nice plays. Astros -0.5 at minus 135, first 5 innings.
King Rail's funny as hell. Look at I just scan up, look at this, find this comment. He says, bet responsibly and drink responsibly. You asking for too much.
And he's got a prospect. He's got Philly, Washington, no score in the first inning at plus 105, and Miami, Cincinnati, no score in the first inning at plus 110. Exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And Antonio Jones says Triple G has been exposed, but he's still world class. He will win. Yes, except minus 4,000. No, thank you. Minus 4,000 are the odds. No way am I taking any fighter, even Triple G, at minus 4,000. But absolutely, I agree with you, Antonio Jones. He will probably win. Although Andreas Hale did say, I asked Andreas Hale what he thought the most likely result was. In boxing, you can have a finish. You can bet props on the fight ending in the first 3 rounds of the 4th through 6th round. And Andreas Hale said Triple G between rounds 4 and 6, and that's like a plus 250 dog. So you could take that if you wanted to. If you really think that Triple G is just too good, going to get an early finish. Triple G between rounds 4 and 6 at 5 times, I believe, was like 2.5 to 1 or something like that. All right, let's get to it. The final word from Jimmy the Bag before the Derby goes off tomorrow. Jimmy the Bag, you see it. It says horses. This is going to be all you, baby. What final thoughts would you like to leave us with before? This is the last show. The last show before the Derby.
Yeah! Fuck, I'm very, very excited. Let's get into it. So, for my official pick, now, when we're dealing with horses, this is a much bigger deal in the Breeders' Cup, but if you go to a European sports book like Bet365, they're going to be favoring the European horses way more than they should be, so you'll get a better number. I predict that Justify goes down to even 5-2 in the track, but here at Bet365, I can get Justify at plus 350. And let me just double check that hasn't changed. So that will be my official pick here. I will also be making this bet. I will put $200 on Justify at plus 350 with my local. Very easy spot. And then I have all my plays that I have on my video. I've got $449 ready to go. And it's been a tough while for me, and so I'm a little concerned if I lose the 449 that I'm not going to have another bullet in the chamber for the Preakness, but we'll worry about that later. Where's here we go, Kentucky Derby, and just getting the lineup right now. Here we go. See, look at this. This is nuts.
What
Mendelssohn is now the favorite.
Okay.
On Bet365, and you'll get it now. You'll get him at 5-1 as long as Michael Tabor doesn't go put $1 million on Mendelssohn. That way he could become the favorite. But yes, Justify plus 350 will be my first official horse pick, and I'm very excited. Does anyone have any questions quickly? Rich Banks asking, does that say horses or whores? It was horses. Arthur Mead Jr., man, a guy I love, says, Jimmy, horse matchups, Frenzy Fire or Bravazzo. See, I really think that with the matchups, you want to know and have a lot of faith in one of the horses. And, I mean, Frenzy Fire might be the weakest horse in this race. He's on the rail. He's on the first. So, I mean, I would say Bravazzo on that matchup. It certainly looks like Frenzy Fire is just a one-turn horse. I bet you he goes off at 99-1. He just lost by 11 1/4 lengths to Vino Rosso. And then when we get down to Bravazzo, Bravazzo won the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes. So yes, I would take Bravazzo for sure, and hope that he doesn't bump off the start, and you should be fine. Friends Fire is gonna fall off at the end of this, without a doubt. JK says, if it rains and money, how much will this affect your wagers and capping, Jimmy? I've gone over the weather, and the weather, it's going to be fine. There's a very slight chance of a tiny bit of rain. So it's going to be fine, and there's not a thunderstorm. There's not going to be a huge rain shower. So if there's a tiny bit of rain, that won't affect anything. And it won't affect Mendelssohn, too, who's been on the turf and is kind of used to softer ground, even though the turf he's used to is out in Europe, and the turf in Europe is much harder and more difficult than our turf to run on, or they just don't handle the switch of turfs very well. Richie Incognito says, my boy Jack, monster dog play. We've seen in the Derby, horses come from the clouds to pick up the pieces. And there's no doubt that my boy Jack is capable of picking up the pieces. If you want a long shot, I just think that Hofberg has so much potential. So talented, great breeding, great connections. The question is, these guys, like my boy Jack and Hofberg, my boy Jack are going to be coming from the clouds. They're going to be coming from far back. Vino Rosso might be my favorite horse for a longer shot, for a double-digit spot. And it was such a great spot when we see Johnny Velasquez. We talked about this on the morning show. He could have ridden Audible. He could have his pick of any Todd Pletcher horse, could have ridden Audible. He chose to ride Vino Rosso. That's all the information you need. That's coming from the jockey, coming from the guy riding it, says Vino Rosso is who he wants to ride. He prefers to ride Vino Rosso than Audible. So that tells me a couple things. That tells me that Audible is overvalued. He's 8-1. He could go down to 5 or 6-1. I mean, this is a guy who just won the Florida Derby and the Holy Bull. And he's a fast horse with a 99 Beyer. So, Beyer, excuse me. So, I don't think he's going to like the extra distance. I know exactly why he's picking Vino Rosso. Vino Rosso is going to come flying. My boy Jack is going to come flying. Some of these guys are going to be picking up pieces. There's no doubt about that. And Dan Kelly said, did someone tell Mendelssohn to run counterclockwise, not clockwise? Yes. Yes.
So what do you think about Justify in a matchup prop against Audible right now at Bookmaker minus 156 for Justify?
Yeah, I would hammer that. I would hammer that. I'm going to prefer in making these bets to it's horse racing, so you're betting on an animal. So I would prefer to always get a nice plus, juicy plus. But yeah, Justify. I don't see how Justify is not going to beat Audible. I mean, that would be a real nice spot. A real nice spot.
Justify against Magnum Moon is minus 195.
Wow. So they think, wow, see, that's wild that they're giving Audible more hope than Magnum Moon. I mean, I guess they're just believing in the curse of Apollo too much, because I think that Magnum Moon's best race is better than Audible's best race. So I really like and I'll start looking at these matchups more as we move forward. And I know that the Derby's probably the best time to get the matchup. But yes, Justify over Audible.
Minus 156 currently at Bookmaker.
Yes. Well, that's just that I have to add that play on.
You want to?
Yeah, I have to add that play on. I just don't see a world where Audible can possibly beat Justify at all.
Okay, minus 156. You've added that as an official play, Jim.
Yes, I will add that as official play. You know, if you look at what Audible's done, and then now Magnum Moon coming from the 16th spot, this could be a very, very difficult position to be in. But he's 4 for 4 in his life. Won the Rebel, won the Arkansas. The Arkansas, he benefited from a slow pace, and he showed how green he was when he drifted out. But you know, he won going away again. He won by 4 lengths. I really feel like Magnum Moon has a higher ceiling than Audible. Mm-hmm. But I almost think that that's worth doubling up. You know, I almost feel like I should take Justify to beat Magnum Moon and to beat Audible. Is there any other, does Justify have any other props against any other horses?
Oh my God, ton of them. You want me to go Justifies against all of them? Which horse would you here? We have a Good Magic. We have. Are
all the lines over minus 200?
No. Justifies minus 165 against Good Magic. Minus 165 against Good Magic. Justifies minus 225 against Hofburg. That's interesting. Justifies minus 285 against My Boy Jack. Wow. Justify even minus 175 against Bolt Doro. Wow. And minus 157 against Mendelssohn. Minus 195 against Magnum Moon. Minus 215 against Vino Rosso.
Nate Pereira said Justify not used to getting bounced. This is a tough group heading up front. He's not going to get bounced from the right.
Mm-hmm.
We know all those horses are going to fall back. He's not going to get bounced from the right. So the only guys that could bounce into him would be Good Magic coming out. Because we know that Lone Sailor is going to cut back. I mean, he's a guy who's going to be passing horses late.
Everyone liking Good Magic. How good is this horse? Good Magic is one of the few horses that's not plus 200 against Justify.
We always get this in horse racing. Everybody remembers him as a 2-year-old champion. This is a perfect horse to fade.
What about My Boy Jack plus 175 against Good Magic? My Boy Jack's going to come flying?
Well, My Boy Jack just... You know, yes, he's going to come flying, but how many horses is he going to pass? I wouldn't take him to beat Good Magic. Good Magic's just a better horse than him. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yes, Brent Brooks, take Justify to win and see if you can get 3.5 to 1. You're getting a nice line. Okay, I think so. Can you just repeat quickly, if you don't mind, one time all of the horses that Justify is minus one against?
Okay, actually not that many, that many. Okay, so here we go against Audible minus 156.
Okay.
Audible minus 156. Justify minus 165 against Good Magic. 165 against Good Magic. These are the current lines, and then that's about it against Hofburg minus 225. My Boy Jack.
I thought there was a minus 195.
There's minus 175 against Bolt Doro.
Okay.
Minus 175 against Bolt Doro, and minus 157 against Mendelssohn, and minus 195 against Magnum Moon.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to take him against Mendelssohn, just because there is a fear that Mendelssohn might be the best of all these horses.
Mendelssohn is minus 115 against Audible.
Yeah, but I hate the fact that Mendelssohn came to the track on Tuesday. So, you know what? I'm going to make 5 plays.
Okay.
I'm going to take Justify at plus 350 to win the race.
Okay.
I will take Justify at minus 156 to beat Audible. Minus 165 to beat Good Magic.
Okay.
Minus 175 to beat Bolt Doro.
Okay.
And minus 195 to beat Magnum Moon.
And minus 195 to beat Magnum Moon. Okay. So Jim has Justify to beat Audible minus 156, to beat Good Magic minus 165, Bolt Doro minus 175, Magnum Moon minus 195, and to win the entire race plus 350.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, those matchup prop bets, I'm not going to bet. I've already got all my bets ready to go. I am going to add the 200 plus 350. So I just want you to know that this is for my record on the show, not actually something I'm going to bet. Okay,
very nice. That does it for Jimmy the Bag's Kentucky Derby coverage 2018, right, Jim?
Yeah, and check out the link. You know what? If anybody actually still is watching this, why don't if you just give me a second, I'll put the link at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, and before we wrap up, we're going to get another pick of tomorrow.
Yes.
From Larry. Is that
Larry's
right?
play of tomorrow.
All right, here he comes. Let me just move over to one chair to the side like I'm on the Tonight Show here. Here we go. Go ahead.
Give it to me.
IIHF.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Say that again.
Ice Hockey World Championship.
IIHF Ice Hockey
IIHF.
World Championship. Okay.
It's easy. USA at Denmark. Under 5.5.
Under 5.5.
Under 5.5.
USA Denmark under 5.5. Wow.
Okay. Do
Wow.
you have the pick?
That is that's wild. Under 5.5. USA Denmark. So that's Kincaid in goal for USA. That's Freddie Anderson in goal for Denmark. The idea being obviously that that Denmark will maybe be able to get a goal, and that Freddie Anderson will not allow America to get 5.
Sounds good. Under 5.5. That game goes tomorrow, huh, Jim?
That game goes tomorrow. So Larry's play of the day, play of tomorrow is the under.
Sounds very, very good. Anything else we want to discuss before we wrap up the week's worth of shows?
Wow, it was a rough week. A lot of work. Not rough getting the chance to hang out with you guys. It's always a treat to run with you guys, and you're such great cappers, and it means so much to us. All the love that we get, and the hate keeps us
sharp.
sharp.
I love the hate. I love the hate. I love the love. I love everything. And now I'm gonna love the break. 2 days of glorious of break where I can just relax and chill out, and then we'll do it all over again one more time next week, starting 12 o'clock Eastern time on Monday. See you then.